and he wants to do great things here in Chicago, he being Caleb Williams. So do we expect Caleb to do great things in Chicago? 2-5, you up first. In Chicago, 2-5, you up first.
I'm up first. I think so.
All right, so first off, I just got to answer that question. Emmanuel Acho asks, do we expect Caleb Williams to do great things in Chicago? I don't know if anybody expects it, but I know for a fact he is. It doesn't matter what I expect. I know for a fact Caleb Williams is going to do great things in Chicago. Caleb Williams is going to be the next best thing in Chicago since Michael Jordan. And I'm not bluffing when I say that. People don't understand how great of a player first, then a quarterback second Caleb Williams actually is. And I've been seeing a lot of hate. I've been hearing a lot of hate on Caleb Williams coming into this season, coming into the draft. Really, ever since after that Notre Dame game, people just finding things just to hate on Caleb Williams about. Because that's how you know how great of a player Caleb Williams is. The dude is so if he's not perfect, people gonna find the smallest things to nitpick on him about. And I just feel like that's the I know that is the dumbest thing you can do to a player, a young, great player like Caleb Williams. You see what I'm saying? I mean, because it's ridiculous, because Caleb Williams, I've never seen him, I've hardly ever really seen him have a bad game, really. And the game that I saw him at his worst, he showed so much resilience when he overcame adversity after the second half when he played Notre Dame and he came back. They didn't win that game, unfortunately, but what he showed, the tenacity that he showed, the resilience that he showed, the mental strength that he showed of coming back after having such a terrible first half and coming back and really rolling on all cylinders. Caleb Williams is going to be a top 5 quarterback. Everybody knows how big I am on Justin Herbert and Caleb Williams. Justin Herbert and Caleb Williams going to be 1 and 2. 1 and 2, 2 or 1. I guess I don't know which one's going to be better, but they both going to be in top 2. I can care less about Patrick Mahomes like that, for real. Like, don't get me wrong, Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback, but I feel like he's a bit overrated. You know, people is kind of like overlooking, you know, the type of coach he got. You know what I'm saying? Like, what Patrick Mahomes really benefit from. I judge quarterbacks based on their responsibility, based on how much they have on their plate and how much they can produce with what's on their plate. So the minimal resources that Caleb Williams and Justin Herbert had, and all the adversity that they had to go through, they still produced. They still produced and won games. They didn't have like tremendous winning seasons and go on into the playoffs and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But what more can you expect one player to do when now Caleb Williams didn't so much suffer from terrible coaching, but he suffers from a terrible defense. At least a good defense complements good quarterback play, great quarterback play. Tom Brady, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. I don't know why I mentioned Joe Burrow, but for some reason people like to put Joe Burrow in the same breath under Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. Why, I do not know. That's another quarterback that I feel like that's so overrated. He's a great quarterback, but he's overrated if you're going to put him in the same breath as Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. You know, but Joe Burrow didn't have to have that much adversity to overcome like Justin Herbert and Caleb Williams in college. Joe Burrow's defense was not that bad. He must have had he probably had not the best offensive line, but let's not get it twisted. The man has always had great wide receivers his entire career. His entire football career, not entire NFL career, his entire football career, going from college all the way to the pros. You got a good release, you can pick up blitzes, you know what I'm saying, you know how to maneuver the pocket. Your offensive line does not have to be that great. So if the only thing that people can say is, "Oh, he had a terrible offensive line," no, come on, understand how it really takes to play football, to be a really good quarterback, to be a really great quarterback. I'm not saying just because I say Joe Burrow is overrated, don't mean I'm saying he's a bad quarterback. But but just because the Bengals was sorry before he got there, and then he brings them to the Super Bowl and the AFC Championship, that you just automatically think it's all Joe Burrow. This is why I hate that wins and losses crowd for the stats to measure up a quarterback. That's all you do. That's all you do is just look at the wins and losses to see how great of a quarterback is. That is lazy analysis, if you ask me. Really dig in deep. What football is complementary, is situational, is about matchups. Come on now. So no. So just to answer that question that they said, Caleb Williams is going to exceed expectations. He is going to be a great quarterback. He's going to get a jacket. He's going to be a top 2 quarterback in the league. And that's all I got to say about that. And I stand on that very firm. Him and Justin Herbert are going to be 1 and 2, and I stand firm on that. So y'all can come back to this video and throw this in my face or whatever if they kind of struggling in this season, which I highly doubt they will. But I'm standing firm on that. I'm standing real firm on that. So it doesn't matter.
I think we will not see any busts in Chicago with number 18 on. I think he's that good. You know what's funny? Like, now we're in a Patrick Mahomes era. That's what I call it now. And that means he's the most dominant quarterback and he's playing at a certain level. But everybody wants to copycat that. Like, every team wants to have their Patrick Mahomes. That's why you draft the certain players you draft. He's the first quarterback I've really seen. Okay, he has a lot of Patrick Mahomes in him. The way he throws the ball, the way he commands the offense, right? All the special things he has with him. So I don't see anything wrong with it. I think he'll be successful in Chicago, and I think they'll get their number 1 pick, and they'll be super happy with it.
Joy, great things. You expect that from Caleb Williams in Chicago?
Yeah, I do. And I think it's also because they've done great work to put good pieces around him.
That matters, too.
So he's going into what appears, at least on paper, to be a good situation. And when you are talking about making the transition at that position to the NFL, the expectations that come with the number 1 overall pick, then the expectations that are coming with being compared to Patrick Mahomes, and then the pressure of trying to drag Chicago out of this abyss of never having a franchise quarterback, there's a lot. But they've done a great job, Ryan Poles specifically, of putting really good pieces around him, giving him options, of giving him weapons, giving him a little bit of stability. I think that's super important for a rookie. I mean, Shady and I talk about this all the time, the expectations that we have for rookies. They're not going to be reasonable for Caleb Williams. But as far as what he's going to do in the long term in Chicago, there's no reason to think he won't be successful there. And they might be successful this season based off of what they've put around him. So I think it's a great situation. I think he will do great things.
I agree. Here's my concern for everybody.
There is no doubt in my mind that they're going to be successful this season. No doubt. And I guess some people are afraid to say that, like just like how some people are afraid to say how great the Chargers will be. Man, I mean, I don't really have a lot of my only kickback. Okay, let me slow down for a second. My only kickback with the Chicago Bears is their coaching. Their coaching and their management. Their owners. You know. That's my only kickback. I would hate for Caleb Williams to experience the same thing with the Chicago Bears that Justin Herbert experienced his first 4 years in the NFL. I would hate for that to happen with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams will put like, and what I mean by that is the scenario with Caleb Williams, he produces, but they're not resulting into wins. And then when they're not resulting into wins, you have a bunch of people who fails to analyze football games and players nowadays. They just automatically go on to measure Caleb Williams' greatness on the Chicago Bears as a team wins and losses. So if Caleb Williams is not winning how he should be, or you know, regardless of how he's producing on the field, you're going to have more people who's going to disrespect him. Just like how you have more people disrespecting Justin Herbert. People talking about Justin Herbert cannot show up in the games. How does he not show up in the game when we're not in the games? But how did they say he doesn't show up when it matters, when the ball is in his hands in the last few seconds of the game? Blah 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 blah. I feel like that's the dumbest thing that you can say. So you just completely when people say stuff like that, when people say dumb stuff like that, it makes me feel like did you just tune into the game at the last few minutes, the last few seconds, and then saw it? You look at the stat board and you look at the scoreboard, and then you just tuned in and you see Justin Herbert, and then you see that the Chargers didn't score, they didn't prevail, he didn't get him into the field goal range. And then so you just measure all that up. You missed the whole game to see what Justin Herbert did. Every single time, probably like 95% of the time he's on the field, his team is scoring. And then as soon as they walk off the field, Justin Herbert is walking right back on the field to score again, to keep his team in the game, because his defense keeps letting up long rushing yards or his pass coverage. You're missing all that. None of that equates to it. This dude, I mean, Justin Herbert is averaging over 20 points a game his entire career. He has put up over 1,000 points his entire career. He has over 100 touchdowns in 4 years in the NFL. What are you talking about? He's not clutch. He is clutch. If his defense keeps giving up touchdowns, that is diminishing more and more and more of your chance to win games. And I believe that Justin Herbert career wins and losses. I haven't looked up these specific stats, but I believe he has a tie of wins and losses. So he doesn't have a losing record, to my knowledge. He doesn't. Last time I checked, I believe it was. I'm thinking he was like two winning games over or something like that. I have to look it up. It doesn't matter because I'm going to do a whole segment on Justin Herbert and I'm going to do a whole segment on Caleb Williams separate, because they both are quarterbacks who gets disrespected. Now, on this show, they don't really disrespect Caleb Williams on Speak, but they do disrespect Justin Herbert. Everybody on this table disrespects Justin Herbert, but James Jones on this show. So that's another thing. I definitely will be calling out Emmanuel Acho. I will be getting all up in his ass because he disrespecting Justin Herbert. I will definitely be getting I'll put it to you like this. The more Emmanuel Acho gets on Justin Herbert, the more I'm going to get on him. Because his takes on Justin Herbert are dumb and they seem very biased. So for that sense, yeah, so, I mean, here's the thing, man. Caleb Williams and Justin Herbert, man. Don't say I said, don't say that I told you so.
At the table and for you at home is, I was thinking about this the other day, Joy. If you look at an organization and they've never had a certain something, and it's the same something, I no longer look at the thing. I look at the organization. If I look at an organization and they've always had a certain something, and it's the same something, I don't look at the thing, I look at the organization. I'll start with the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are always going to have a good running back. DeMarco Murray led the league in rushing yards. While LeSean McCoy was playing, he led the league in rushing yards. Ezekiel Elliott led the league in rushing yards. Emmitt Smith leads the NFL in rushing yards. Cowboys are always going to have a good running back. They always will. At least check. Every 2 years, they're going to have a good running back. Steelers are always going to have a good defense. The Browns are never going to have a good quarterback. The Bears have never had a good quarterback. Not all of those quarterbacks are sorry. I played with them in the NFL. I played with them in college. I played against them in college. They're not all sorry. But for whatever reason, in Cleveland, they never perform. I don't believe all these Bears quarterbacks have been historically sorry. But for whatever reason, in Chicago, they never perform. If you look at an organization and they always have a certain something, Bears bad quarterbacks, Browns bad quarterbacks, Bears really good defenses, and that organization never has a certain something, I no longer look at the thing. The reason I bring that up is Caleb is, to me, the greatest college talent I've seen at the quarterback position based upon how the current NFL is structured. You need to be able to throw off platform. You need to be able to run. You need to be able to create your own plays. You need to be able to throw at any arm angle. You need to be able to do all those things. Caleb can do it better than any college prospect that I have seen based on how the current NFL system is being structured. But Justin Fields wasn't that bad. He wasn't that bad. In Chicago, he was. But in real life, he wasn't that bad.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is the Justin Fields that we saw coming out of college, because right now all we've seen is Caleb Williams coming out of college. Justin Fields had.
Now, before Shady gets all up in Acho's ass, because I already know what Shady about to say. And these are the things that Acho. See, this is what pisses me off about Emmanuel Acho. He knocks Justin Herbert. And I haven't even seen this segment. I was actually trying to do another video. I actually thought I was recording another video when they was talking about Caleb Williams, when they was comparing Caleb Williams to Aaron Rodgers. That was actually the video I was trying to do when Mercedes Lewis was saying that Caleb Williams reminds him of Aaron Rodgers, because I actually did do that video, but I was having terrible audio issues, and so I thought this was the video. So apparently it's not. But anyway, this is a good video. I'll do this video and then I'll do the other video too. So I'll be posting 2 videos today. Anyway. This right here. I'm gonna actually rewind this, and I wish what I should do is, you know what? That's exactly what I will do. When I do another video on Justin Herbert, it's gonna be a very, very long video just to just to warn everybody, because it's going to prove all my points about how the bogus of the Justin Herbert slander. And I'm not just doing this because I'm a Charger fan. I'm doing this because I'm a Charger fan and I've seen every single professional game that Justin Herbert has played. And I was not big on Justin Herbert when he got drafted. I did not want Justin Herbert as our quarterback. I didn't. I didn't want him. And so, with that being said, my takes on Justin Herbert are not biased at all. The fact that he had to deal with Brandon Staley, I already talked about how terrible the defense was. He has had the worst defense statistical wise in any quarterback in his first 4 years in NFL history, if I'm not mistaken. But it was definitely one of the worst. Having a defense to give up over 1,000 points is in 4 years is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Brandon Staley did a terrible job as a head coach. So Justin Herbert had to overcome his and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. I believe they only played like a total of like 7 games through the entire time when they played against, when it was on the Chargers. And I will fact check myself on that as well. But I will tell you this: it wasn't a lot of games that Keenan Allen and Mike Williams both played together. Hey, Austin Eckler. Now this is something I know for a pure fact. Justin Herbert has never had a 1,000-yard rusher, but for some reason, Austin Eckler gets a lot of hype as being a great running back, as being one of the best running backs in the NFL. How in the hell is Austin Eckler one of the best running backs in the NFL, and this man has never had 1,000 yards? Never. Come on, man. Austin Eckler's best year was 907 rushing yards. That was his best rushing year. So Austin Eckler gets all this hype about how strong he is and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But this man can't run between the tackles to save his life. This man cannot convert. This man cannot get 1 to 2 rushing yards when it's third and short. When it's third and short, because our running game sucks so bad, when it's third and short, we're passing the ball. Every team that plays against the Chargers knows that Austin Eckler cannot run between the tackles. They know this. They know Austin Eckler is not a short yardage running back. They know this. So when you're going into when you are game planning against the Chargers offense, you already know that, and you already know how big Brandon Staley is, because Brandon Staley is so predictable. He tries to make himself seem like he's some mad scientist or whatever, talking about algorithms and all this other nonsense, but the man can't dial up offensive plays to save his life. The man can't dial up defensive plays, and he's a defensive coach to save his life. So teams already know that Justin Herbert gonna be throwing the ball almost every single down. Come on, man. And then all these other quarterbacks, they get the pass when they have a so-called defensive coach. These young quarterbacks do. But why don't Justin Herbert get a pass for having a defensive coach? Not only a defensive coach, well, perhaps Brandon Staley is a defensive coach, but he sucks as a defensive coach. He sucks as a coach, period. But Justin Herbert don't get a pass for that. Justin Herbert gets all the blame. It's ridiculous, man. I don't know where this Justin Herbert hate comes from, but it really pisses me off. And I'm coming after everybody who disrespects my quarterback. I do not care. Like, I want a job. I do want a job in NFL, and I would like to be a scout one day and everything. But you know what? I can give a damn. My dream job, and if I do work in the NFL, I would like to play for the Chargers. And so I am going to defend Justin Herbert before I defend any other player, because I know how great of a player Justin Herbert is. So anybody that's going to disrespect Justin Herbert, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stream record him, and I'm going to come after him. And I'm going to just dissect the foolishness of how they like to disrespect Justin Herbert. So just beware, Justin Herbert haters. And this buffoon on the screen right here, disrespecting Justin Herbert, but now he's going to say Justin Fields didn't play bad. Are you effing kidding me? Justin Fields didn't play bad? All right, man. Okay. For people who don't think Justin Fields didn't play bad, they're just Justin Fields fans. They're just being biased. When did he ever play good? This man has only just scrambled, just run the ball. That's all. That running is not being a quarterback. I can care less how great of a runner you are if you can't pass the damn ball. What makes Lamar Jackson so great is not only that he can run, he can also pass as well. What made Cam Newton so great was not only that he can run, he can pass as well. What made Josh Allen so great is not only he can run, he can pass as well. Those quarterbacks can pass the ball. Those quarterbacks has great arms. Those quarterbacks are accurate. Now, some of them, like Josh Allen, they turn the ball over a lot. But Josh Allen, he has a lot of responsibility. He has a lot of responsibility, so he's going to turn the ball over. That's just going to be part of his game. But he's also going to make plays. Yeah, you see, the fact that Emmanuel Acho said this ridiculous nonsense proves my point how biased his takes are. And how he just hates on Justin Herbert. Because all the thing that Emmanuel Acho can say about Justin Herbert was what everybody else says. Oh, when the ball's in his hands at the last few seconds, he can't score. Given the fact that then the Chargers has like 30 points. Come on, man. Let's see what the ridiculousness of Acho is going to say. Let's see how he's going to back this up. And I hope Shady gets on him.
41 touchdowns. Justin Fields played with a lot of talent at wide receiver. Caleb Williams had Jordan Addison at USC.
It did.
So Justin Fields wasn't that bad, but then you go to Chicago and he was that bad. I say that to say I need to see the Bears help Caleb Williams out because I'm worried about the Bears potentially.
Okay, so I misunderstood him. He was saying that Justin Fields was not that bad coming out of college, but he was bad with the Bears. Okay. I'm glad he said that. I'm glad I understood that first, like second go round.
Causing flaws in Caleb Williams' game because we've never seen a quarterback pass for 4,000 yards in Chicago. Obviously, I believe Caleb Williams will do so. But when I look at the Bears and they always have a certain something they struggle with, I'm just trying to make sure the Bears don't lose.
What's my saying?
Everybody good in college.
Hello. All the quarterbacks at Ohio State, they are.
They're good. They're great.
All of them.
They're actually good.
All right, so great take, though. That was a great take. But I don't believe all that.
Every quarterback was good at Oklahoma in college, and every quarterback good at USC in college.
So everybody's good in college.
So my point.
So they get to the elites.
So then, shouldn't you have the same concerns? Because from Landry Jones to Jason White to Sam Bradford, all good in college. Blake Bell now is a tight end, won 3 Super Bowls with the Kansas City Chiefs. He was a quarterback.
Yeah, but Caleb wasn't good in college.
He was elite.
Caleb was special.
Yes.
And so if we really believe
that
he was special and generational, then he has to be looked at with a little bit more projection than all those good quarterbacks.
Okay, then I'll only talk about the elite ones. Sam Bradford was elite. I mean, elite in college.
Wait, was
elite? Sam Bradford went crazy.
Before he goes, I hate the college talk, right? And they make us not a college guy like that, but everybody's good in college. There was a time where we thought Tim Tebow was like that.
Correct.
But he wasn't.
Agreed.
Because everybody's good in college. So my thing is that.
So
what?
First off, Tim Tebow was great in college. None of them looked like Caleb Williams. You know how I feel about Justin Fields. So I don't care if Sam Bradford threw for 5,000.
I'll just say it like this. Caleb Williams was the greatest college quarterback to have ever played the game. I know we got Peyton Manning. I know, some people love Johnny Manziel, right, which I don't. I watched Johnny Manziel's college games. I was not that impressed. I was very impressed with Cam Newton. Cam Newton definitely had one of the greatest college careers, ever. Even though he only played one year, but I've seen Caleb Williams do things in college that I've never really seen a quarterback do in college. Really, I've just never seen like the type of plays that he did, the type of throws that he did, some of the things that he did. I just never really seen a college quarterback do things like that. I mean, this guy was runner-up to win 2 Heismans 2 times in a row. I guarantee you, if Caleb Williams had won 2 Heisman trophies in a row and won 2 natties in a row, I guarantee you everybody will be saying he's the greatest college player ever. Just because everybody rates championships and wins and losses as a quarterback stat. I guarantee you It wouldn't be like they wouldn't be so much as what Caleb Williams has done on the field. Because I've seen Caleb Williams dominated games greater than I've seen Cam Newton dominate games. And Cam Newton dominated when he was in Auburn. He dominated. But at the same time, Cam Newton didn't have that much responsibility on him as much as Caleb Williams. I mean, Caleb Williams was every single time he was on the field, he had to make a play. He had to score every single time he was on the field. That was the amount of pressure that was on Caleb Williams. That wasn't the amount of pressure that was on Cam Newton. And I will look up the stats too, and I'll analyze Cam Newton's tape his first year. But as far as I'm concerned, Cam Newton's defense wasn't that bad, and he didn't have the pressure of scoring every single time he was on the field. That was the pressure that Caleb Williams had. They lost to Tulane, for Christ's sake. I actually knew a player that played for Tulane, a cornerback played for Tulane. He didn't never really step on the field, but he was on the team. But I was livid when we lost to Tulane. I'm like, are you kidding me? Tulane? So no, I mean, if USC had a good defense, Caleb Williams would have 2 natties. He would literally have 2 natties. And he more than likely would have had 2 Heismans. He's the greatest college quarterback to ever play the game. I don't care what anybody says. He is. There's no college player better than Caleb Williams. None.
Caleb Williams threw for 4,000. Justin Fields threw for 4,000. Caleb Williams threw for 3,000. We're watching with our own 2 eyes somebody that's absolutely special.
Yes, sir.
A generational talent. And what the Bears have done, which they have not done with their quarterbacks, is put together all this talent around them. Jay Cutler would have threw for 4,000 yards if Jay Cutler didn't get hurt. Jay Cutler was a good quarterback for the Chicago Bears. He got hurt. He didn't get to that. If Caleb Williams is healthy, it is great things that is about to happen in Chicago. And
I completely agree with James Jones. The Chicago Bears didn't always have like a terrible quarterback. Jay Cutler was really, really good. Really, really good. And especially when they had Brandon Marshall and Jay Cutler, they were nice. They were nice. So, yeah.
Possibly, y'all know how I feel about Jordan Love. If we are going to get the Caleb Williams that we've seen with our own 2 eyes at UFC, he can end up being the best quarterback in this division. I'm not saying next year. I'm just saying great things are ahead for the Chicago Bears.
I'm not concerned, because here's why I'm concerned. When I look at the Packers, always got good quarterbacks. Really good. They always do. I don't think it's coincidence.
Especially when they had Brandon Marshall and Jay Cutler. They were nice. They were nice. So, yeah.
Possibly, y'all know how I feel about Jordan Love. If we are going to get the Caleb Williams that we've seen with our own 2 eyes at UFC, he can end up being the best quarterback in this division. I'm not saying next year. I'm just saying great things are ahead for the Chicago Bears.
I'm not concerned, because here's why I'm concerned. When I look at the Packers, always got good quarterbacks. They always do. I don't think it's coincidence.
Always have a lot of good weapons around them,
no doubt. I think organizationally what the Packers do with quarterbacks is great. The Bears don't ever have great quarterback play. They don't have great quarterback play. Mitch Trubisky had a roster. He had the number 1 defense.
He was weak, too.
And he had the number 9 offense. And I don't talk about stats. Talk about names. They had Roquan Smith and Khalil Mack.
But you're talking defense, though.
Correct.
That doesn't help the quarterback play.
But what I'm saying is we've seen, even when you talked about Cutler, Matt Forte was nice and Brandon Marshall was.
And he had the best year. If he didn't get hurt. Nice. If he didn't get hurt, these Bears quarterbacks numbers will be better. That's what I'm saying. These Bears quarterbacks numbers will be better. That's what I'm saying.
They had number 83 Martellus.
I don't, you know how I feel about organizations and dysfunction. I talk about it all the time. The Bears are the only team in NFL.
Okay, I'm going to catch Joey right in her lie. She's full of crap. Because she's talking about, you know how I feel about, I feel like they pick and choose who they want to defend. So it's obvious, which I do appreciate, it's obvious she's a huge fan of Caleb Williams. Obviously. She's always been praising Caleb Williams. As a matter of fact, all of them have been praising Caleb Williams, which I love them for that. I do. But this is my point, that they pick and choose who they want to be fans of and who they don't want to be fans of. So she's pretty much going to probably like give a pass to Caleb Williams if he does struggle because of the Bears organization. That just came out of her own mouth. You know how I feel about organizations. No, you're lying. You don't know. I don't know how you feel about organizations, because you would be defending Justin Herbert for the losses or for him coming up short in the playoffs, because every single person on that table aside from James Jones, disrespects, slanders, and criticizes Justin Herbert for not winning a damn playoff game. But you're going to say out that same mouth that you know how I feel about organizations. I have never heard not one time say how dysfunctional the damn Chargers organization was when he was playing for the Chargers. Well, Justin Herbert's still playing for the Chargers, but I'm saying prior to the Jim Harbaugh era, not one time have I heard her mention that. Everybody and their mama know how dysfunctional the Chargers was. Where is these terms chargering coming from? We fired Marty Schottenheimer when he went 15-2. Phillip Rivers always came up short in the playoff games, always. And I'm not really a big fan of Phillip Rivers because I've seen Phillip Rivers throw games away. I wanted Phillip Rivers gone. And really, to be honest with you, I'm talking about how overrated Joe Burrow is. Again, Joe Burrow's a great quarterback. He's a top 5 quarterback. I'm just saying he's overrated because he's not on the same level as Patrick Mahomes, and he's damn sure on the same level as Tom Brady. I've heard people compare him to them, and this dude has only had 2 good seasons. So I wanted Joe Burrow to come to the Chargers. I wanted Phillip Rivers gone. I wanted Joe Burrow. It didn't happen. Really, even prior to Joe Burrow, I wanted Kyler Murray. I wanted Phillip Rivers gone. I wanted Kyler Murray. So she's full of it. She's full of it in saying that. No, we know how you feel about organizations and quarterbacks you choose to pick to defend. That's how we know how you feel. Because, again, you will not be disrespecting Justin Herbert.
I talk about it all the time. The Bears are the only team in NFL history to not have a quarterback pass for 4,000 yards in a single season. That is just a factual statement. Cannot be argued. That is what has happened in NFL history.
Wow, that's nasty.
It's terrible. But that is the brand of the Bears. And there are certain reasons why organizations have these sort of habits, right? Like the Bears love to focus on the run game. They love to draft defensive players. Like there are certain organizations that have these brands and these habits about them. But as with any organization that has these constant, seemingly endless traditions or failures, someone special comes along and breaks that and changes the future of the organization. So I believe that Caleb Williams is special enough to change the brands of the Chicago Bears and usher them into a modern NFL.
And that's the word she used, special. If we put Caleb Williams, right, in the draft with all the other greats, right, from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck, all the dudes, Michael Vicks, he's going to be special in his own way. Now, I don't know who will go first and all that. I'm just saying it's a special talent. The guys you start naming, like Baker Mayfield and Sam Bradford, them dudes say, whoa. They had good careers, but they wasn't special.
This is where you're wrong. And I think you're objectively wrong.
Bradford was special?
Yeah, at the time. Remember,
he was good.
No, Shady. Sam Bradford was elite. He was not good. He was elite.
I don't believe that.
That's not something to be believed. He won a Heisman. He was a runner-up for a Heisman.
It's a lot of Heisman that win that's not special.
In college, Sam Bradford was one of those ones. He was one of one.
That's your opinion, bro. That's your opinion.
It's not my opinion.
Because guess what?
It was all the general manager's opinion. Because he went number one.
And they always right?
No.
Okay. So don't act like they always right. No. Because you're a general manager.
But it's not just my opinion.
Because some of them shouldn't be there.
It's not just my opinion.
What I'm saying is when I watched Sam Bradford for Oklahoma, right? When I watched him play, I didn't think he was special.
Shady.
When I watched Baker Mayfield, I didn't think he was special. Keep going. Matt Leinart, another dude you talked about. Heisman, I didn't think he was special.
He didn't go number one.
Where he went? Number 11, 10, for something like that to the Cardinals?
Well, there's guys.
But forget all that, though.
But we can't forget all that.
No, not forget it. What I'm saying is you're telling me these dudes were special.
Acho is interesting. He's motivating me to do a segment, a video. Because, on Sam Bradford, because to be honest, oh my God, I don't want to say I agree with Acho, but I see sort of what he's talking about. Forget all the other quarterbacks he said. I'm talking about Sam Bradford. I remember Sam Bradford coming out of college. I thought he was a really, really great quarterback. Now, it never rung in my mind that he was one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever played in college or any of that. But I did think that he was going to be really, really, really good, if not great, going into the NFL. I did think that. Because I do remember watching him play in college. Not vividly, but I slightly remember. I can't remember that much, but because it was so long ago. But I do remember how I felt towards Sam Bradford, and I do remember how I felt when he was in the NFL too. For a very short amount of time, he made some plays here and there in the NFL, but he quickly was terrible. I see where Acho is coming from with Sam Bradford. I don't see where he's coming from with the other quarterbacks. I don't, especially Baker Mayfield. Like, well, I don't know what to tell you something about that, but I see where he's coming from with Sam Bradford. But I'm gonna have to do a video on that to refresh my memory to see how really great see how really great Bradford was in college. I mean, just because Bradford won a Heisman, that doesn't mean that he was elite. Just because he won a Heisman, I don't think so. I mean, you done your thing, but that doesn't mean that you were just like one of one and special, like how Acho was trying to make Bradford be. Like was one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time. If he would have said something like Matt Leinart, that would have been a different story. Which I don't know why he doesn't bring why he doesn't bring up Matt Leinart. That Matt Leinart would have been an excellent, a better point, than him talking about Mayfield and Bradford, But I don't know. Let's see. Continue on what you're talking about with this. But it's interesting. I definitely will do a take. I'm definitely do a segment on Sam Bradford's college career. I definitely will do that just to see, if he was really that special, how Emmanuel Acho is saying. And I'm interested in doing it because I do remember how I felt about Bradford coming out of college. I do remember that.
I am in 2024, I'm taking Caleb. But in 2008, we would have took Bradford. Because in 2008...
After how we see Caleb Williams
think about, James, you were there, you lived it. Think about how the NFL has changed over the course of years.
I know, but
think about how it's changed.
I'm listening
in 2008, we wouldn't have taken Caleb number one.
But I'm listening to you.
We would have taken a 6'5", statuesque dude who could throw darts, because that was Brent Roethlisberger, that was Eli, that was Brady, that was Peyton.
That's what they told you.
That's what the
GMs was telling y'all.
That was the era of football.
Well, Acho's wrong on that one. In 2008, if Caleb Williams is in the draft in 2008, I'm taking Caleb Williams over any of them quarterbacks. I'm just him. I don't think any of those quarterbacks is going to be as great as Caleb Williams.
But what I'm saying is we're sitting here saying that Caleb Williams is the greatest talent that we've seen.
To me.
To you.
Based on how the current NFL...
He's special. He's special, bro.
But remember what I said. Based upon how the current NFL is being played, Caleb is the greatest quarterback I've ever seen coming out of college.
Right, but what we're talking about, the issue with the Chicago Bears is they don't play current NFL football. So to me, that if they did do the same thing they always do, then I would tend to agree with you. Mm-hmm. But I think that this pick, which obviously they weren't going to pass on, and through not happenstance, but obviously another team was kind enough to be bad enough to give them this pick, which was the Panthers. They had the opportunity to get him. This is a modern player. Like, the reason that the Bears are habitually in this space, well, the reason why they haven't had a 4,000-yard passer, I believe, is because of the focus and the way and the history of that team.
But here's the question then, for all of us, is you got a defensive coach.
Yeah.
In my guy, he used to coach linebacker for the Cowboys, I think Eberflus. Got a defensive coach. Mm-hmm. You got an offensive coordinator who was with the Seattle Seahawks. Y'all know their brand of football. Mm-hmm. Formerly Shane Waldron with the Seattle Seahawks. You got really good running backs. Maybe the deepest running back room in the NFL. You got my guy from Texas, Roshan Johnson. You got DeAndre Swift. You might have this. So they still have the Bears brand of football.
But if they're going to win,
they have special pieces at the wide receiver spot.
From 1 and 3. From 1 and 3.
From 1 to 3.
They also have Cole Kmet.
Answer this question though, right? So you telling me when you watch Caleb Williams, you see special, you see generational, right?
Of course.
And you telling me when you watch Sam Bradford, you seen the same special generation? I'm trying to figure it out.
What I'm saying is when I watch Bradford, Bradford was in 2008 elite. Like, it's different, Shady.
Hold on, man. I know you're good at these words. I know you're good at these books. I'm asking you, when you watch Caleb Williams, right, from USC, Or Oklahoma, or everyone you like better. Was he special or generational when you seen him play?
Yes, he's generational.
Okay,
He's generational.
check mark.
He's generational.
When you watch Sam Bradford for Oklahoma, number 8, was that his name, the big face man? That's him, right?
Yeah, I played against him.
When you watch him, or when you played against him, did you think that he was special and generational?
Not generational, he was special. Yeah, he was special. He was special.
Okay, last question because he's trying to play this game.
Special.
What was so special about him, though? Because I watched him, too.
God, dog. Bradford, one, he could put the ball anywhere.
Yeah.
His arm strength was stupid.
Oh, my God.
Accuracy and processor, ridiculous.
Oh, my God.
I mean, bro, the reason he won a Heisman, there's a reason he went to a national championship game.
Sound like Payman to me.
That's what they thought.
He said, pay it. Yo, let me know the next one. I'm good.
Cramped up.
I'm good.
Turn.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and.
All right, so that was kind of funny. I mean, I see where Acho was talking about. He pretty much inspired me to do a video on Sam Bradford, his college career, and I would definitely do a video on that. I'm gonna do a lot of research on Sam Bradford's college career because like I said, I do remember, you know, how I felt about Sam Bradford coming out of college. I was really big on him coming out of college. So, but I never really felt the same way. I've never felt how I felt about Sam Bradford, how I felt about Caleb Williams. I never felt about Sam Bradford how I felt about Cam Newton even. But I do remember, you know. So, yeah, Nacho probably has a point on that. But, you know, just to focus on the point here. Again, Caleb Williams, he was the greatest quarterback to ever come out of college. He was. I watched a lot of college football for the past 10, 15 years. And I just never, I mean, even when I'm a diehard USC fan, and I didn't feel about Caleb Williams how I felt about Matt Leinart or any of the great USC quarterbacks coming out of USC, you know, or Cam Newton or Tim Tebow. And I thought Tim Tebow was really great. I knew Tim Tebow wasn't going to be good in the NFL. His style of play just was not going to translate to the NFL. Tim Tebow was literally a college quarterback. He was your typical. He was the epitome of a great college quarterback. He was. Tim Tebow was great. He was very great. And at the time, Tim Tebow was, I would say, he was the greatest at that time. I remember I was even saying that Tim Tebow was the greatest player who ever played college ball. Because at that time, he was. He had a very dominant college career. Stupid dominant college career. But, you know, time went on. Better college players came. Tim Tebow doesn't hold that title anymore. I actually think probably Cam Newton took that title. Well, no, I can't. Cam Newton only played one season. I can never say Cam Newton was the greatest, you know, at anything in college. Because he only played 1 year. Now, I would say this. Cam Newton had the greatest season for a player. You know, I would say that for a college player, for a quarterback ever. That 1 year that Cam Newton started and they played at Auburn, that was a phenomenal season. That was a phenomenal season. Cam Newton dominated, got the Heisman. They won a championship, and they beat Alabama. And Alabama was dominant then. Dominant defense, and Cam Newton dominated Alabama's defense. So, but again, time went on. Better players came. Here comes Caleb Williams. You know, so I can't wait, man. We almost here. We less than a month away. What's the day? It's the 5th. I can't remember what the official kickoff starts, but we're almost there. If we're not less than a month away, we are like about a month away. So thank you so much for watching this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are. Oh yeah, let me know in the comments, who do you think is the greatest college quarterback to ever play the game, or the greatest, and the greatest college player to have ever played in college football. Let me know. I'm not only going to do these videos on NFL. Most of them will be on NFL. That will be the majority of the videos I'll do. But I aim to do videos on all football on any level, because I just this platform, this channel is pretty much like my portfolio, you know, of my scouting skills, and just my football research skills, my football knowledge, my football IQ. And I'm just going to be doing more and more videos, and I'm just going to be putting them out on this channel. Everything that deals with football, even football books, football plays, positions, and all this stuff, how to be better at this or that, everything, exercises, training, it's all football related. And this channel I won't talk about any other sport unless it relates to football. I know other channels they do sports and as a whole. Not me. I'm all football. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are. Who's the greatest college player ever play? College quarterbacks ever play? What do you think about Caleb Williams? Do you think that Caleb Williams will be a great player? Do you think he'll be a great quarterback in the NFL? Do you think he's really going to bring the Chicago Bears to the promised land? Let me know. Thank you so much, and we'll be back soon, all day.